This is Michael Orrell of MobileBurn.com, and today we're reviewing the BlackBerry Curve 8900 from Research in Motion. This is the new 8900 version that is available for T-Mobile USA in the United States. You can see it looks very much like the Curve 8300 series that we're used to. Even the keypad is quite the same. You can see there's spaces in between the individual keys on the QWERTY keyboard, unlike those on the 8800 series devices or the Bold, even, which came out recently last year. The trackball, though, has changed. No longer sitting in a divot like it did on the 8300 and does on the Pearl Flip, which I kind of like that divot there. On top of that, the trackball is a little bit stiff in use. So apart from that, though, it's very much like the Curve experience we've come to expect in terms of text input. On the side, we've got a button here that can be set to a user function, such as like voice dialing. Similarly, there's a button over here which by default launches the camera. Oddly enough, even though it is a two-stage button that you can press in slightly to get focus and fully to take the photo, the 8900 seems incapable of taking a proper photo in landscape mode, so we're not sure why even bother with that. You've got the volume controls right here, micro USB connector for data and charging, and a 3.5mm audio port for regular headsets. Up top, it's a little bit hard to see the markings. It's just like on the Storm. You press down here and it will put the phone into lock mode, standby mode, and there's a mute button control over there. Not too much to see other than the microphone on the bottom. Back panel is home to the 3.2 megapixel autofocus camera and the flash, which is right there. This little doodad down here is the connector for the rear cover. It's spring-loaded. Comes off very easily. It's very cheaply made though, and quite honestly it doesn't fit very well. It's one of the only real problems in the design, and you can probably hear it when I tap on it. It's quite loose. The side panels and the bottom are covered with a nice soft touch rubber feeling though, which I like a lot. We did have some problems with it eventually peeling off on the 8300 series though, so we'll see if it lasts any longer on the 8900. In terms of size, the 8900 Curve is just about the same size as the 8300. It's a little bit longer, a little bit thinner, but very, very similar from a user's perspective. Give you another idea how it sizes up to another device. This is the BlackBerry Storm for Verizon Wireless right next to it. You can see they're very similar in terms of total size, although the proportions of buttons versus screen real estate is vastly different. But if you line them up, very similar. Storm's a little bit wider, maybe a little bit longer as well, and probably a wee bit thicker, but very similar. We're going to take a quick look at the user interface on the BlackBerry Curve 8900. You can see right here on the home screen there's a row of icons that you can access across the bottom of the screen. Good thing about that is that the icons actually make up the top row of the main menu, and since you can rearrange the main menu as you please, moving icons around or whatever, it's really easy to change what shows up on the home screen, which is really nice. The downside of the home screen is that with the themes that are included, which are pretty limited, the vast majority of this nice 480 by 360 pixel display goes unused. In the past we've seen other themes that showed inbound messages, current appointments for the day, that kind of stuff, and this just seems like a colossal waste of display for me. Hopefully there'll be some themes in the future available that will address that. But anyway, go back to the main menu. In addition to being able to move things around as you like, you can also hide things. Now you see if I select Show All here, a whole bunch of additional grayed out icons show up. These are icons that we've previously hidden. Just note for like the camera icon here. We hid that because you can always just press the button over here to activate the camera. It doesn't need to be there. You can do that inside of submenus too. If you look inside, say, Applications here, you can hide applications that you never use. See these two down at the bottom here. When you undo the Show All, the hidden things disappear again. Now, while the current versions of the BlackBerry OS are more organized than past ones, there's still a lot of long lists involved. If we move down to the Settings folder right here, we'll go to Options. And you can see it's still, it's a long black on white list. List after list. Now this is admittedly a little bit deeper into the system, than most things that people are going to be accessing, but still, BlackBerry's not quite done redoing the user interface. One other handy thing about the home screen, though, is that you can easily get to profiles from there. You notice if I go left and right, we're moving back and forth on the icons at the bottom, but if I go up, it selects the profile icon, at which point I can click on it and select a different profile, like loud, and then you'll see the little indicator changes to show that it's a different profile. So you can see the loud profile has a little red indicator up in the corner. Very handy to get to, easy to change, nothing fancy required.